Right to go? Hi everybody and welcome to the review of round 14 and preview of round 15. The buys did continue in round 14 and will continue in round 15. And during round 14, these did affect a few teams and the results. We had another game decided by less than half a point and 5 teams got over 400 this week and 1 just fallen short of getting that 400 mark. So let's get to the first game.
Lock it in. Saxophone rides. It's time to win. But Footywired. 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 Footywired.
All right, the first game we're going to look at is a high scoring game with one massive score to Renegades. Renegades getting the win over Second Destroy, 453 to 399. That win puts Renegades to 3rd from 7th, just showing how close this competition is this year. And now the top 2 are far away from everyone else. Can't even read my script. Anyway, Second Destroy, despite being one of the highest scoring teams of the last 3 games, they do drop to the bottom of the ladder. Anyway, for Second Destroy, Caldwell, he got 60 as a midfield. He led the way. He was closely followed by Gorn as utility with 91 and Clark as a halfback with 57. For Renegades, with their biggest score of the year, they had stars all over the park. Best 3 for them were Jesse Hogan at full forward with 69. Hey, hey, hey. Holmes as a follower got 69. Hey, hey, hey. And Bailey Smith is utility with 105, doing the nose beads. Anyway, Optimus lineups sees a total score of 892 between both teams. Haynes goes into half forward, Second Destroy, and the Hornet goes to utility with Caldwell as the tackler. For Renegades, they will put Setterfield as utility and Holmes and half forward swap. Holmes to half forward and Smith to follower, should I say, as their main changes. So let's go to game 2. Falcons have ended their 7-game losing streak, 7 or 6, I can't remember. It was a long losing streak. They got a nice win over Sugar Daddies, 409 to 334.5. Sugar Daddies, they were affected by the bias to some of their better players and poor form really, but they had 3 solid contributors with Bailey Williams, who was only in the team as a last resort. He got 39 as a half forward, so I'll put him as the best player. Bailey Dale, once again, he was looped holding. He led the way as a follower with 62. And Tom Stewart as a halfback got 57. Falcons, well, finally had some players come back to form. And after finally being given his chance as a halfback, Wiedering was sensational and he got 77. Kenny at a half forward was great. He got 50. And Tim English in the ruck got 42. For the optimised lineups, Danger will come in for Sugar at full forward. And Zach Fisher will come in as a tackler at the early changes, while for Falcons, Hewitt and Tom Green will swap, and Larky will get a run in the forward line. Now, let's go to the game of the round.
Footywired. Match of the round.
And it is the game of the round. It's the highest scoring nail biter decided by 0.5. And for the second time this season, Rangers are on the losing end of that. They lost by 0.5. This time the punters paddock 402 to 401.5. Game was dominated by the forwards here. Punters, they had Jeremy Cameron lead the way with 63 at full forward. They also had Richards, who was looped holding utility with 96, and Whitfield as a follower with 58. Rangers also led by their full forward in Georgiadis. He got 88, which was phenomenal. Kicked 7 goals, 4, I think it was. Jack Steele as a tackler got 51. And big Riley O'Brien got 46 as a ruckman. Optimised lineups weren't as close as what the actual score was. Chalor and Dawson, they swapped for punters, and Graham gets the tackler spot. Well, for Rangers, Saligo comes into the midfield, as does Bolton, and Kelly will go to half forward. All right, so let's go to the fourth game now. It was an injury-affected game. Yeah, I'll use that as an excuse. Kerno got injured, although I probably wasn't going to get there anyway. But anyway, doesn't matter. I'll take it. In a poor performance by both teams, really, El Diablos get the lowest scoring win over Gators, 340 to 312. Only 5 players performed above their projections in this one. Gators didn't have too many who performed well and got their lowest score of the year. The best 3 would have probably been Zorko, 62, Ash as a follower, 54, and Neil as a mid with 53. El Diablos, they had a huge standout in Caleb Sarong. He got 71 as a midfielder. Darcy Fort performed above expectations and got 40 as well. And I've lost my other player there for the top 3 because my screen has cut away. Michael, cut this bit for a second.
A few moments later. A few moments later.
And I understand there's some proud marching band people here. And in full disclosure, I could never be in the marching band because I've had sex.
And Keys as a full forward got 23 as probably the 3 better plays for them in that one. Optimised lineups does see reversing fortune. 2 good scores though. Gators will bring in Norton, Myers, and Dylan Moore, while El Diablos will bring in Parker to half forward, Duncan to full forward, and Sarong will go as utility. All right, last game that we're going to look at for the review of the round is the table-topping Gods of Olympus securing a final spot, and Bombers forever for the first time this year dropping out of the 5 with a thumping 403 to 287.5 win. Bombers did have a few missing from the bye. However, the poor score was mostly down to poor form and selection. It does see them get their lowest score of the year. 3 standouts in a low score is hard. However, Sheasel performed well with 50 as a follower. Sean Manor at a half forward got 36. And we'll go with Goldie in the ruck with 35. The Gods, they had winners everywhere. But the 3 clear standouts would have been Naz or Messiah Wanganeen Malira, that's his name. A halfback with 72. Brayshaw as a midfielder got 64. And Marshall was looked holding at utility and got 98. Optimised lineups would see the Bombers bringing in McRae, Sean, Sam Darcy, and Thrill Seeker, while Gods would give Lawson Humphreys a game and also some positional swaps for them. So let's have a quick look at the team of the round. Team of the round got over 611 for the team of the round. The forwards led the way. Georgiadis and Hogan are the forwards. Sarong would come in utility and O'Brien as a ruck. And the so-called Dash brothers in the middle with Bailey Smith and Max Holmes. Wittering gets the halfback spot and Dylan Moore as the tackler. And let's have a look at the ladder, which saw a few changes this week. As mentioned, the Gods secure a final spot and they just about get money back and the first week of the finals in the bye. The Gods, if El Diablos lose this week, who are in second and got a 2-game break on the people below them. But if El Diablos do lose this week, the Gods all but guaranteed top spot because they got a superior points for. They do. But as we've said, El Diablos are second. Renegades move from 7th to 3rd. And they see the 4 teams that are now below Renegades drop 1 position. As you can tell with the ladder, 3 games separate 3rd to last. There is 6 games left and there's 24 points still available. So anything can still happen from here. There we go. If we look at it, we mentioned before in terms of Seek and Destroy score, 3-game average does see the bottom of the table Seek and Destroy as the informed side. So let's have a look at round 15.
Footywired.
Alright, so this week, 4 teams on the bye. Again, the Mighty Hawks, the D's, the Crows, and some team out west all have the bye. Sugar Daddies, well, they'll look to end their slide against the Gods. Gators play Punters. Renegades will be playing the Bombers. Rangers play El Diablos. And Seek and Destroy play Falcons. So let's have a look at the first game. It is Sugar Daddies versus Gods of Olympus. Sugar welcomes back Darcy Cameron, Miller, Rowell, and Ainsworth. But they will lose Williams and Fogarty. And also Jake Stringer is a test. Gods welcome back Warner and Josh Jacobs from the bye. They will lose Pickett, Hewitt, and Rivers. While Oscar Allen, he does have the bye, but he got injured and he may not play again this year. Who knows what's going to happen there? Possible loopholes here. Sugar, well, will be Martin or Parrish on Thursday, or even Danger or Stewart on Friday. Gods, they're probably going to go for Brayshaw on Thursday unless they want to wait for Saturday more early, which is McKercher or Curtis as a possible loophole there for them. Next, game 2, it's Gators and Punters. Both teams losing a few players to the buys this week. Gators, they welcome back Ned Long, Houston, and Grundy. And for the first time this year, possibly Errol Goulden from the bye. He is a test. They do lose Petrarca, Newcomb, Flynn, Watson, Moore, Marrick, and James Peatling to the bye. Kerno is also a test. He got injured and left the game earlier, as I mentioned earlier. Punters, well, they welcome back Sidebottom, Howe, and Myercheck. They're 3 common players. But they will lose Dawson, Meek, Chol, Graham, Laird, Reeves, and Salem all to the bye. Possible loopholes here. Or Gators, possibly go for Myers, Neil or Zorko. Harris Andrews does have some pretty good form against the Cats, but probably more likely Myers. Punters, they may be without a ruck if Darcy does get rested after a 5-game break. This is 5:13 p.m. on Wednesday. Teams are not named just yet, so I don't know whether Darcy is playing or not. He could also go Dempsey as a loophole on Friday, Jeremy Cameron, or wait for Saturday for Whitfield or Bedford. I think it's Saturday they play. No, they play Sunday. So no, that's probably the best option. It's not Whitfield or Bedford on Sunday. You wouldn't do that. Game 3, Renegades and Bombers. Could be scary thinking what the Bombers Dogs in terms of Darcy and Bont could do to the little Tiger Cubs. They do beat up on the week, the Dogs. Don't beat anyone above them, but beat up all the teams below them. Renegades, they're welcoming back Nank, Heaney, and Noble, but they do lose Oliver, Rankin, Warple, Warren, and Sicily to the bye. Warple and Sicily were injured, but more likely back after the bye. Daniels also got injured last weekend. For Bombers, they're going to bring back Witts, Rowbottom, and Roberts. That's if Roberts is named. They do lose Rochelle and Thrillthorpe to the bye. Papley is also a test for the Bombers, so he may be back as well. Both teams look to have done their sides this week, so this one is an easy loophole to choose. The Essendon Roberts is going to be for Renegades, while Will Ashcroft is going to be the loophole for Bombers at this stage, unless they change it. The 4th game, we're going to look at Rangers and El Diablos. Rangers, they welcome back Anderson, Trainer, Layla, Boston, Taranto, Hopper, and it's daytime, the game, so Bolton will be back as well. Although, I know he will be back because the game will finish about 6, so he will get home in time. Anyway, sorry. They do lose May, Viney, and O'Brien, which will leave them without a ruck. So it looks like Caddy is the best option to be, and at the moment is in the ruck spot for them. El Diablos, well, they bring back Armity, King, Long, and Lynch, but they do lose Keys, Eamon, Duggan, and Nash to the bye, and Wines looks like he has picked up an injury. Possible loopholes here. Rangers, well, Merritt Thursday night is the best option unless they go for Bolton. While El Diablos, he may stick to Dunkley, who's currently in that position, but was there from last week. Unless he wants to go Sarong Thursday night, or even go on the Friday with McCluggage as well. They're probably the 3 best options for El Diablos. Final game we're going to look at, Seek and Destroy play Maltese Falcons. We're all thinking of you, Mark. Seek and Destroy have a few coming back from the bye. This includes Jamie Elliott, Nick Dacos, and stupid Flanders. But they do lose Gawn and Gunston, and also to the bye, and Sam DeConing is injured. He'll be out for 5 or 6 weeks, I think. Falcons, they lost Stan Walsh before the game last week, so he will be injured for the next 4 or 5 weeks. They do welcome back Blakey from the bye, but they have lost Tex Walker, Bowie, and Baker. Possible loopholes here. Well, could go Clark, Wright, or Caldwell on Thursday night. Zach Bailey on Friday is also an option for Seek and Destroy. Falcons, they can go Luke Johnson, who looks like could be up against a kid in the ruck for Essendon. Blitz Fast Friday, or they could got 5 players to choose from between the Carlton and North game, which they can go to, and that's the early Saturday game. All right, so let's have a reminder of this week's fixtures. Thursday is Freo playing the Bombers. Friday, Cats and the Lions. Saturday, Blues play the North. Power plays the Swans in the Twilight game. And although it is a Collingwood home game, they play the Saints at Marvel Saturday night. Sunday, Giants play the Suns Sunday afternoon at 3:20 is the Dogs and the Tigers. Once again, Hawks, D's, Eagles, and the Crows all have the bye. So just really quickly, have a quick look. The teams have yet to be named. So that's all for this week. Good luck to everybody. Have a good weekend. See ya.